What's the most ridiculous thing you've heard someone say that they were 100% serious about? Putting in a roundabout was stupid because now they had to stop 4 times instead of 1 if they had just left it a 4-way stop. I overheard a guy talking to someone at the bus, but sadly I could not hear it all. The government is secretly burying people's corpses to prevent earthquakes. She was very serious that a usable handheld shower head without a hose. Because the hose was ugly. Asked if she meant an overhead or a wall-mounted shower head because those didn't require a hose. Nope. She wanted the water to flow from the wall into a handheld shower head without a hose. I tried to tell her that wasn't possible and ended up sending her to a different home improvement store. My cousin was not the sharpest tool in the shed. He was convinced he could have unprotected sex with any women as his current girlfriend was pregnant, so there was no risk he could get another girl pregnant. A nurse I used to work with asked why we can't drive to Hawaii. She was absolutely serious, and I wasn't surprised when she didn't last beyond her training period. This weekend my 75-year-old neighbor told me with absolute certainty that women are allowed to get an abortion up to 2 weeks after the baby is born. That when we were in the Caribbean we were seeing a different moon. Their moon. I was doing an OB ultrasound on a patient. The patient was worried the baby was going to chew through the umbilical cord. My mom said the craziest thing I have ever heard a person say in real life. She was driving me and herself to her place of work so I could spend the day helping. I don't even remember what led up to it. But she told me she thought it was the government's job to round up gay people and give them the choice to either convert to Christianity or die. It was, to this day, the most shocking thing I've ever heard someone say in seriousness. My ex-husband was a horrible driver. Wrecked everything he ever owned and then some. But he somehow thought he was an excellent driver. We were riding through a town with a 4-lane main road. He started to change lanes oblivious to the car that was located exactly where he was headed. I told him to stay in his lane. And fortunately, he did. He said, 100% seriously, that if he'd changed lanes and crashed into the car that was already there, it would have been their fault because they didn't honk their horn to warn him. Did you know that Slipknot wear masks because they're wanted criminals? X200B. Now imagine me wasting 15 minutes of my life trying to explain that if they were wanted criminals, they'd just arrest them on stage. Why do they call one side of the sun the moon? This 30 years old legitimately thought the moon was just the other side of the sun. Wouldn't it be cool if we could see in 3D? I never wear a seatbelt. Why the hell not? Because if I am in a wreck, there's no way I'd be thrown to safety. My coworker. We were all having a conversation. I don't remember what we were talking about. But I said something to the extent of crazy. It's like someone thinking the earth is flat. His response was, well, it is. My other coworker and I looked at each other confused. Flat Earth coworker continues explaining why the earth is flat. He was saying it like he was stating facts. We're engineers, for crying out loud. You paid too much money for your glasses and degree to see things this way. Nurse at our elementary school mistook allergies for pink eye. When I said that it cleared with eye drops, she told me allergies are contagious too. I knew an American guy who claimed that bears were not dangerous to humans. He claimed that if you were ever attacked by a bear, all you would need to do is stick your thumb up its anus and it would immediately fall asleep. Yeah, I can just see an angry bear stop attacking you the minute you tell it to bend over. I'm 43 now, but used to do a fair bit of traveling in my younger days. Up until I was about 30. Always coming back home for Thanksgiving, Christmas. Anyway, I had hitched back into town and was walking to my grandma's where I'd be staying, carrying my Alice pack. A girl got to talking with me on my way, and it came up that I'd just got back from dead-faced confused. She was like, they have towns out there, like cities and stuff. She genuinely believed it was still like the Oregon Trail was in like 2005 lol. My old coworker said he went to Antarctica in college for a month for research, and had to be careful of polar bear attacks. The Titanic was fake. The ship cannot be in the Pacific Ocean, said my science tutor. I heard one customer tell another that Joe Biden was really Jim Carrey and it was all a ruse lol. I have a buddy who will claim to be an expert in military strategy and tactics, who at the same time claims studying history is pointless. He never served in any capacity. Pokemon is a Satanist plot. They're all based on Chinese gods. The Holocaust hasn't happened yet, but it will soon because my cousin will start it, except he's gonna put white people in camps. The North Pole is the closest place to space on Earth. Recently I went to a market and a woman was selling incense that protected against 5G and Wi-Fi signals. Off the top of my head, one of my co-workers vehemently arguing that the moon isn't real. At work, I overheard a man rant about how melatonin is a myth and a plot against black people, and that the true source of a black person's hue is carbon. Black people are the only people on the earth that have carbon in their body as a result of this. The longest hole in Russia, 12 kilometers, is a gate of hell. Dinosaurs never happened, because the Earth is only 5,000 years old. From a teacher to my daughter in 5th grade. A coworker told me that aliens from space were going through his apartment while he was at work. My brother-in-law confidently said that Obama was responsible for the '08 crash and Great Recession. He absolutely would not admit he was wrong, and Bush was president in 2008. When I showed him multiple sources, including from GWB's own website. That's fake news and you can't believe anything on MSM websites. I literally wanted to carve my brain out with a spoon. That they could win a fist fight against a rutting buck. I had a classmate in my constitutional law class who genuinely believed that the Earth is flat. Planets aren't real. And neither is NASA. My teacher proceeded to show him photos of the moon, asked him, "What do you think that is?" He had no response lol. I avoided interactions with him ever since. The Caribbean coast is off the coast of England because they have British accents in Pirates of the Caribbean. This man was in the military and had no knowledge of geography. Used to work for a place that didn't allow outside food unless it was for babies or medical reasons. Woman brought a liter of fancy French sparkling water for the baby formula. 100 seriously. I had to explain why sparkling Similac would be a bad idea for a newborn. That kid would have belched to the moon. Trump is the most Christian president ever. I was flabbergasted at that statement. Couldn't reply and just never talked to the person again. My sil once said their father had a heart attack because my sil missed church one day. As in God punished her. Her father was not a man who took care of himself or watched what he ate. It was a minor thing and he totally survived.